Greetings, students. In this video, you'll learn how to make the three-dimensional models of atoms that you'll need for your molecular model kits. You should have 10 2-inch styrofoam balls from which we'll make carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen atoms, and you should have 11 1-inch balls that you'll use to make hydrogen atoms. The hydrogen atoms are easy because all you have to do is label and decorate them. However, we have a lot more to do to make the other atoms. Our first step is to find and mark 4 equally spaced points on the sphere. That means that each point will be the same distance away from each of the other 3 points. You'll need a piece of string or something similar cut to a length of 5.1 centimeters. You see, I've made this handy measuring device with a pipe cleaner that I bent to match the curvature of the sphere. I can make my first marking anywhere, though I like to use the imprint since the bumps help me with the next step of dividing the circle into 3 equal pieces. These lines will serve as the guidelines for my measurements. I hold one end of the pipe cleaner at that point, and then I measure along one of my lines and mark the end position. Note that I have to be very careful to measure along a great circle, kind of like an equator. Then I repeat the process for the other 2 points using the other 2 guidelines. The 4 equally spaced points represent the positions occupied by the 4 valence electrons of a carbon atom. This diagram shows where one would most likely find the 4 electrons, with the most probable locations being the 4 points we marked. Note that the electron positions create a figure called a tetrahedron, comprised of 4 identical equilateral triangles with 60-degree angles. Therefore, each of the electron positions is 109.5 degrees apart from each of the other electrons. This symmetrical arrangement is called an sp3 hybridization, but that's a topic for future study. Each position is capable of holding 2 electrons for a total of the magic number 8 electrons that perfectly completes a valence shell. Carbon only has 4 valence electrons, so I'll represent each of the electrons with a tack. Now, you don't have to use a tack to mark the electrons, but you do need to make sure they show clearly. I'm offsetting them a bit to leave room for another electron. To make a nitrogen atom, I just start with a carbon atom and add 1 additional electron, giving the atom the correct number of 5 valence electrons. You can add 1 more electron, giving your atom a total of 6 valence electrons, creating an oxygen atom. If you continue the process, can you see that with 1 more electron we'd have fluorine, and 1 more after that completes the octet, resulting in the noble gas neon. But we're going to stop at oxygen. So here's your mission. Note that you also need to cut some pipe cleaners to represent the bonds between the atoms. Good luck and have fun.